In the gently rolling wooded plains of North Texas, one woman's lifetime passion for horses has taken her in new directions and deep into the incredibly challenging sport of carriage driving. Her journey of discovery has brought her to the magical Friesian horse, the black treasure of the Netherlands, and what may be the pinnacle and culmination of a lifetime career in horsemanship and horse breeds. Joni's first experience riding horses was as a youngster, and she has competed in Western events, English competitions, eventing, and now in her life has discovered the thrill of carriage driving and combined driving events.
I think my first experience with a horse was falling off at 2. Someone put me on a horse, but my dad bought me a little Welsh pony at an auction when I was about 6. So my friends and I all had ponies, riding backwards, forwards, racing, whatever. And so I was in 4-H and Texas Junior. I've ridden at the Fat Stock Show in Fort Worth and State Fair of Texas, mostly pole bending, barrel racing, that sort of thing. And then did that all through high school rodeo, and then I got into English riding when I had kids and learned eventing, and that was really fun. So, loved eventing for about 15 years and just retired my New Zealand Thoroughbred. So when I bought this farm, that's when I really found out about the Friesians and wanted a really special, interesting, beautiful horse to put at this farm. And I had the opportunity to just pick from any breed. I could go get any horse I wanted. And after a lot of research, I just really fell in love with the Friesians.
Joni's desire to drive a carriage started at a very early age, but may not have been to regulation, as she explains.
So when I was little, my friend and I had a surrey, his family had a surrey, and we tried to hitch one of my old mares to that surrey with no harness, and we were very unsuccessful. Never happened, but I think that stayed in the back of my mind all these years. And I don't know why, but I've just always had an attraction to, or the desire to want to drive.
What Joni discovered in the Friesian was a kind heart, exceptional versatility, and willing temperament, making it very suitable for driving, dressage, pleasure riding, well, just about any activity for every kind of person. This is a breed that truly develops a connection with their owners.
So when I bought the farm, I had that opportunity to go find some really special horses. And I visited a lady's farm who had 2 full brothers, babies. Of course, I've always wanted to drive horses. So I thought, what a beautiful place to drive here at this place. And not only will Friesians drive, but they're beautiful in dressage. They're beautiful riding horses under saddle. And their temperament is such that you can put anyone on a horse, on a Friesian, and they're quiet and gentle, and they've just struck me as a really elegant, beautiful horse. Great pasture ornaments for my front pasture there, so I love that. But they could do so many things versus one thing, and I like that versatility that came with the Friesian. And I like the beauty and the elegance they have, and the history and their style. So, women love romance, and they're the most romantic horse I can think of. So I love that part in the Friesian. And they're, another really special thing about the Friesians is their connection with their owner. I've had a lot of different disciplines and horses and breeds, and those horses can see me from across the pasture, and they will full gallop right at you, stop 2 feet in front of your face, and then just want to kiss you all over and crawl in your pocket. And it blows my mind how friendly and loving they are. And they're big animals. I happen to own one of the tallest, I think. The highest they get, the tallest they get is 17 hands, and I have a 17-hand one. So they're really large, but gentle creatures, and just so beautiful.
In the driving world, there is both pleasure driving, which has its own elegance and social correctness, recreating driving of an era more than 100 years ago. Then there's combined driving, which covers an entirely different aspect, combining elegance, tradition, precision, and gritty competition, as Joni explains.
Combined driving, I read a description of it the other day, and it's elegance, tradition, and gritty competition is how they described it. And really that's what it is, the elegance of the dressage part of it, with the horses being all wrapped up in your hands and shiny and beautiful and trimmed and brushed and groomed. That's gorgeous. And you have the beautiful carriage behind you, and you have the clothes that represent the tradition of the times and the carriage that you're driving. So it's got an incredible tradition, and love the history and the carriages and all that. But then you have the cross-country phase, which is crazy fun. It is gritty, it gets wild, it gets hairy, and if you love competition and you love to just go fast and have the challenge of driving those horses through and over and in and around, and it's an amazing challenge for the driver, because unlike riding, when you get into a carriage, you lose all your aids to the horse, or most of them. So now your voice and your hands become your aids, and that is quite a challenge from getting off the horse and into a carriage. It's much more difficult, and people think it looks easy, but it is really not easy, but it's certainly challenging, and that's what I love about it, is the challenge. So you got all combinations of the beauty, the precision of the cone driving, and then you've got the crazy, wild, hair on fire cross-country phase, which is why I'm interested, basically.
Combined driving consists of 3 events to test the skills of both horse and driver. The first test is in driven dressage, where the horse and driver must execute precise movements through a prescribed driving pattern. The second phase is a cross-country marathon and timed event with several hazards along the course, with gates that must be driven in a prescribed order.